Hi, this is Rich with Richbound Photography, Sacramento, California, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Rich Baum's Tips and Tricks for Real Estate Photography, where we talk about gear, we talk about techniques, and my goal is to help everybody in the real estate photography community to get better, have more fun, get more proficient, learn some great stuff, and make more money and just go enjoy your life. So I'm coming at you today with a little, just a demo, and not a demo, but just a description of the new Ricoh Theta Z1 360 camera. And here it is. And for those of you that are not familiar with what 360s are, is this camera will take a 360 and you can make them into virtual tours. So you can do walkthroughs through homes. You can, and I'll add some examples in the show notes, but you can quickly and easily photograph a 360 image with this camera, and it doesn't even rotate, it doesn't even move. You push a button either on the camera or on my phone in the app, and it takes a picture with two lenses. It has a lens in the back and a lens in the front, and it just takes a picture, and it literally takes 2 seconds to take a picture. And in the old days, when I used to work for a company I was starting out and I needed a job in photography, so I started working with Everyscape, and we made 360 panoramas for AT&T. And I used to have my big DSLR with a fisheye lens, and I had a Nodal Ninja pano head and a really big tripod. And it would take me, I think I was taking 40 plus images per pano, per one shot, to put it in together and make an HDR image. I would upload it all to Everyscape, so I never did any of the stitching, but I did that for years as a contract photographer, and it was a real pain. This thing, literally, I have done this, I can shoot 4 rooms in 1 minute. I've shot a house, 1,500 square feet, in about 8 to 10 minutes. And the longest time to do this whole 360 shoot for a home is to get all the lights on, get the drapes, the blinds as you'd like them, and make sure everything is right. And then it takes you 1 second to take the picture. You pick up the camera, go to your next shot, and it's so fast and so easy. And for me, I wasn't prepared to go with Matterport. Some of you might be familiar with Matterport. It's about this big. I think they cost $3,500 or $4,500, and it's very expensive to host these images. So I didn't want to go that route. And even though Matterport is better, and please understand, this is all just my opinion and what works for me. So you might have conflicting feelings about this, but the quality of this image, I've probably done 20 panos of houses, and I've actually played with it a lot. And once I got it down and I understood the format and how to edit it and make it look better, color correct, I got it. I tell you, the quality, and I'll leave an example to a tour in the show notes that I've done, and you can see it may not be as good as Matterport, but it's pretty darn good, and it's so fast and so easy. And one great thing is this camera is $999, sorry. And so it's basically $1,000. And this is the newest one, the Z1, and they're just now coming in stock. Had to wait for mine for a while. But they have another one that the older one is the V, the Theta V, and that's about $400. But I've been told it's not nearly as good. And I think they make another one, an S. But this is really a great camera. Now, the camera shoots in 3 formats. It can do RAW and JPEG, straight JPEG, or HDR. And listen, if you know me, you know I don't like HDR photography, but I found after doing some kind of extensive testing, I really think the best quality image comes with the JPEG. I mean the HDR mode. It's fast, it's easy, and I can bring them into Lightroom and I can add a little special sauce. I'm working on presets for the 360s in HDR mode, but you do a little special sauce and it gets that. I can take away a lot of the things that don't look good for HDR. Now, You bring it in the Lightroom, it can really help you with doing color correction, exposure correction, and you can add sharpening. You can find your own little method of what works best for you, and it's super fast and easy. So basically, I take the images, and I usually use and my phone. I'm filming myself on my phone, so I can't show you, and I use the Ricoh Theta app, and I can go right into it, hooks right up through Wi-Fi. I can go right into the app. I get it hooked up, and within 10 seconds, I then can start shooting. So basically, remember, this has got two lenses, and it takes the picture at the same time. So you put it where you want it. You look in your camera, and you see what the camera's seeing. You can actually see 360 degrees in the phone app, and then you leave the room. You go behind a wall. You push the button. You hear whoop, beep, and that's literally what it sounds like. And that's all it takes to take a picture. You come in, you get your camera, you go to the next one. Now, there is a really cool plugin which I've been using lately, and it's probably what I'm going to start using. But it's got a plugin called Time Shift, and it's on the Ricoh website under downloads. It's a little tricky to find and to get into the camera, but it works great. And what it does is you go behind the camera, and actually this is the front of the camera. The control window down here is the back of the camera. So I'm behind the camera. I push the shutter button right there, and it takes the picture with the front camera. And then after it takes the picture, it counts down 5 seconds, goes to the next picture, and then I go behind the other side, and it takes the second picture 5 seconds down the line. So in 10 seconds, you don't have to leave the room, which is really great for exteriors if you have really no place to hide. So just check out that Time Shift plugin from Ricoh. It's really slick and really cool. So anyway, I also want to tell you, we in the business as 360 photographers, I use a monopod because this sees everything. This sees the ground, the ceiling, 360 degrees. And you need something thin and small here so it doesn't really show up. And I bought this. This is called it's a company, I think it's out of England. I could be wrong. It's called Bushman, and they make this. And you can use any monopod, but this one is super thin, super well made, and it has these little feet to it, so they're very low profile. And it will you can go into Photoshop and clone out these feet, or you can leave them in or put a logo, some kind of logo over it, but you've just got to deal with that in the image because you will see it. But this monopod is super easy to use. And the other thing too that's great is it has two settings on the feet. It will either go narrow like this, and if you don't have wind and you don't have to worry, it also has a nice weight here, and I really like that. And then I can turn this, let me turn this for you. And now I can make the legs bigger. Hold on, I got to get it in the right spot. There we go. The legs can go wider, and it's better. It's really good. Now, something people have asked me is there is no way to adjust the angle on this, but I don't want that. I want it to always stand straight up, and I love this for that. It's also extremely well built, but what you can do is I've tightened these feet up very tight, so I can just, with my foot, I can move one a little bit and it will angle. So I can put it straight, I can then angle it down a little bit, and it will give your camera, you can just find it, you can visually line it up so it's straight. And you know what, to be honest with you, the software is pretty cool, and I haven't had any problem with mis-stitching. Little bit sometimes of not stitching properly, and I'm going to figure that out, but I'm really happy with it. And it's like a turnkey thing. It's so fast and so easy. So again, this is the Ricoh Theta Z1. It's $1,000. I'll put a link in the show notes to this. It is so simple. And I have the Bushman Claremont, and it's called Claremont because there's a guy, he's Mr. 360, and he is, I think, out of Australia. But Ben Claremont has a new video tutorial series out there called, I actually wrote it down here so I wouldn't forget it. It is, Ben Claremont Video is the Virtual Tour Pro. And that's what we're doing here, making virtual tours. And his video tutorial, I've actually watched it. It's very good. It just got released. Very comprehensive, so it's a really great thing. And I got that, put that information in the show notes for you. I think they have an early bird purchase right now. Let me keep this here so I can make sure that I didn't forget anything. Okay, so we talked about what this is. We talked that it may not be as good as Matterport, but it's good enough. And I can transfer, it's so much faster than Matterport and so much cheaper than hosting it on Matterport and the Matterport camera that I can pass those savings on to my clients. And I'm not trying to undercut and undersell the value of a 360 panel, but I will say I can upsell it much easier for my clients that would not think about doing like a Zillow 3D, which gives you the Zillow Boost, which is another story, but it's a great thing. I've been doing my panos with Zillow also. And it is something that you can do for businesses. You could do a car dealership. You could put the camera in a car and do a 360 inside the car. You can do businesses. You can do gyms and health clubs, things like that, restaurants, businesses, all kinds of things. I'm going to be doing a lot, not necessarily real estate. I'm going to be doing a lot with my new home builders I shoot for, and they're going to be doing renderings. So I'm actually going to be doing the exterior and put that into a virtual rendering. So the rendering, they'll be doing walkthroughs of a building, a house that's not even built, and they'll be able to look out the windows and see the real view where that is. So it's just, you're limited by your imagination. That's it. So it's really easy. Now, I also want to bring up a big part of this is these need to be hosted. So even Matterport, iGuide, whatever you're doing has to be uploaded and has to be stitched together. And then you have to build these tours, which are very quick. And I use a thing called Cloud Pano. And Cloud Pano is, we also are sponsored by Cloud Pano on our podcast, Shooting Spaces. And Cloud Pano has a great deal. They have, currently, at the moment, I don't know if it's still going to be out when you're watching this, but they have a lifetime, free hosting lifetime, and it's literally under $500. So I'll leave a link there for that. But Cloud Pano is great, and it literally takes 5 to, I mean, when you're learning, it's going to take me about 20, 30 minutes to build the tour. But I've got it down, and I'm down about 15 minutes. And I really think I can shoot a house in 10, 12 minutes and then edit it and get it up online in an extra 15, 20 minutes. So this is really, really fast and easy. And it looks great too. You can also use VR glasses and just look around. So I'm going to be using the VR glasses for my presentation, especially to companies and to businesses. So that's really great. So you got to get a hosting company, and I really, really like Cloud Pano. They're a new company, but they're really solid. I've been using them for about 2 months now, and I really like them, and they're very good at support and keeping very current with their technology. So they're doing great. Okay. I told you about the Virtual Tour Pro tutorial from Ben Claremont, and we've got Cloud Pano, and it's very affordable, fast and easy to host, and you can use the Zillow 3D app, and you can become a Zillow certified photographer, and you just do 5 panos with the Zillow app, and you become a certified photographer. And I've already done that, and I've already had my meeting I talked for an hour with the Zillow guy. It was great, really interesting. And I know there's people that have two sides to think about Zillow as the big bad guy, the big company. But you know what? The Zillow boost is really my realtors really want that boost, that clientele to have more people see the listing, and the Zillow will boost you up and rank you higher for a few days, or I don't know the details anyway. So you got to get a monopod, so you get this. And also I want to say this camera comes, now these lenses stick out, so it comes with a little neoprene case, and it's super easy. really good. I can even plug a external battery in here. There is no way to replace the battery or get a second battery. So there is a limit to this, and also you can't put in a memory card. And so it's limited to its space, but it really hasn't been an issue with me. And I can even plug in a battery, a USB bank, and charge it while I'm shooting. So it's really a non-issue for me. And I think I've talked about everything. So if you thought about getting into 360 and you didn't want to get the investment of Matterport or something like that, this is so fast and easy. Go get yourself a Ricoh Z1, Theta Z1, and get yourself any kind of a monopod or this Bushman monopod. It is well worth the money. I really, really like it. And I am not paid by Zillow. I am not paid by Ricoh. I am not paid by Claremont, so by Bushman monopods. I paid full price for all this stuff, and I'm happy I did, and I'm really looking forward to it. So check out the show notes, and you'll find links to all this stuff. And be sure, listen, thanks for checking in with the Rich Baum tips and tricks for real estate photography. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to use that Adorama link. You guys have been more than kind using that link. It really helps motivate me to make these free tutorials. And, you know, I know they've helped people because I get messages all the time. So a few more things. We have the Shooting Spaces podcast. It is the #1 real estate photography related podcast on the internet. And you can find us on the iTunes store and all the platforms you get your podcasts from. We release a new podcast every week, and with my partner Brian Berkowitz in New York, and we're doing great. So that is shootingspacespodcast.com or shootingspaces.net is our website where you can find you can find all of our webinars, our tutorials. You can find all kinds of things. I also want to say that they've got the real estate, PFRE, photography for real estate. We have a convention coming up. I've got tongue-tied. Convention coming up November 20th and 21st, 2019, and that's going to be the first one. So if you miss it this time in Vegas, it's going to be a great show, and we're going to be doing a lot of broadcasting. But check it out, and if you missed it this year, come next year, because we're surely going to have the conference next year. And be sure to use that Adorama link, subscribe to the Rich Baum YouTube channel, and listen. Go out there and shoot better, shoot smarter, get better clients, shoot better projects, and try new things like adding 360 panorama video virtual tours to your repertoire and what you do. And just really have a great time with it, make more money, and enjoy your family. And this is Rich from Sacramento, California, saying thank you for spending the time. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment. I try to answer all my comments. And as always, this is just my opinion and what works for me, and I'm sure if you want to learn more about this camera, the Z1, you can find dozens and dozens of videos out there. So I'll leave those opening unboxing videos and technical videos for somebody better suited for that. Thanks a lot. Rich Baum signing off. Bye.